And we are live. Thank you again, everybody, for sticking around. I have here Timber Barker. He is an entrepreneur that is 4 startups in, so he is no stranger at all to the edge of technology. Through his latest enterprise, Boom Interactive, Timber and his team of developers are pushing the limits of what machine learning, artificial intelligence, and LiDAR can do to bring the real world into digital 3D. This cutting edge tech has big value contributions for construction, education, film, public safety, retail, and so much more. In this session, Timber would like to take us all on a journey as he explains how he came into this most recent success and what lies ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Timber Barker.
Hi, thanks everybody. It's great to be here. Appreciate the intro quite a bit, Scott. I do want to do a shout out right now. Just Chris, Kyle, Scott, Matt, Mike, Ryan, David, Michael. Fantastic job. I've learned so much in listening to what you guys had to say. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate all of you setting this up. Yeah, Timber Barker. My name is all wood. That's my joke. And it's funny, somebody pointed that out to me later in life. It wasn't even a joke for my entire life, so I'm a little sad about that. But let's jump right into this. So, Boom Interactive. I'll chat about that in a second. But the topic I was really wanting to speak on was realizing the economic opportunity in the metaverse. And I'll rattle through some slides fairly quick, as I'm not the lead in a lot of these topics. I think Matt did a great job talking about the economic impact and how big the metaverse can be. Just looking at the trajectory of where Web 1 was, where Web 2 was. We've all heard this. We've all seen this. There's a lot of articles out there that talk about the economics of the metaverse. We just listened to a good speaker talk about a little bit of that. We've all touched on it. And we're all like, okay, what does that mean? How can I make money doing this? And how can I make experiences with money? I do have a PDF here. I'll post the link as well, but it's a really cool takeaway that talks about the potential economic impact of the metaverse. Really great. I'll leave it at that. We know it's going to be trillions of dollars, but again, how can we play in that? Much of what we envision for the metaverse is still about a decade away. And part of playing in this space, we as creators and forward thinking people need to realize that, need to understand that, right? We are in the beginnings of a lot of what we hope that future of the metaverse will be. Again, I'll leave it at that. There are people that are more qualified to talk about that than I am, but I'm going to share with you my experience in what this actually means. Impacting the real world has been something very important to me. A little background on myself. I've been in the film industry. I own a film school for kids. It's been around for 21 years, teaching film production and a lot of other topics in film. Also own a video game company. I love video games. I love experiencing them. I have since my first Atari, Turbo Graphics. Everyone's like, oh, well, everyone's a gamer. Not true. A lot of people out there are scared of the word metaverse. They're scared of the word NFT. They're scared of these things. And so how do we as a group bring people to that understanding? And I start here with them. I'm like, look, we want to create jobs. We want to progress and innovate hardware and software. We want stuff that's fun, exciting, immersive, experiential, and breathtaking. Spur creativity and accessibility. It's a new medium for consuming content. It's a new voice for marketing products. It's virtual yet connected. And I could go on. I had a whole list here, but these were the most important things that we need to be constantly thinking about and how we're going to actually impact the real world. Because when we do, now we're talking economics. Topics and considerations. Just want to touch on this for a bit. This has been in my mind for a long time. So transcends a single industry, not just for gamers. We've heard that here. I won't harp on this too much, but we need experiences for average people, for everybody in different ways. Also, we have to look at the current state. Like, what are the behaviors of people now? What are they doing online? What do those online behaviors look like? What do the mobile behaviors look like? How are they consuming information? I'll jump to the next one here. So the cost to produce. So $30,000 VR example for one scene. I was part of this project for some investors of a building. They were based out of South Korea. built them a VR experience. Is about $30,000, very expensive. And when they saw it, they were impressed, they were blown away. And then we trashed the project. And so to iterate or to scale that, very hard. It's very, very hard to do. A lot of people won't pay that. We also need to be talking about security, which best practices and standards. I used to work for Ernst & Young on the IT area global account. I can tell you, we created so many frameworks and methodologies around security, internet security, ITRA, uh, risk controls and mitigations. All of these things will evolve as we get further into this hyper realistic metaverse type experiences. User experiences impacts scale and adoption. It has to be easy to use. It can't be expensive to use. It can't be clunky to use. We all see innovations in this, especially with hardware, which is my next consideration here: cost, comfort, familiarity, and accessibility. I don't see a world where people are going to be walking around with backpacks, which are PCs, and these giant headsets, and trying to experience. I don't see a world like that. I really just don't. And then also ownership. So NFT, Web3, Metaverse, hashtags, influencers, all these words, quite scary for a lot of people. So in considering looking at how you want to impact the real world, we have to consider speed, focus, and content. We can't take years to develop these experiences. We just can't, period. We have to be hyper focused, and we have to have realistic expectations for our investors and also for our the people we're building these experiences for. And then content. I can't harp more on that. We need a lot of content, and content is the hardest thing to build and the hardest thing to make. So with all of these things in my mind, for many years, my current venture with Boom Interactive has been in AI. So I'll take a step back here and how we do this. I'm not going to play this video. You'll notice on my slide I say don't hit play. I will share this link with everybody that is interested to see what we did. But how did we realize the economic opportunity? So we created a 3D ideation platform, MetaTech, for the average person. We wanted to focus on the average person, on average devices with common online behaviors, and enable them to be the hero in their own 3D metaverse. And what I'm talking about there is, how do you build something in 3D for people where they can create it and then they can share it without teaching them Revit, CAD, 3D Studio Max, Lumion, Blender, Unity, Unreal? I can go on. The answer was for us anyway, it was for using AI. So we created advanced image recognition to recognize 2D images and extrude those into 3D real-time editable scenes. We started with the construction industry. It was the industry we saw as the largest need. It was very archaic. It's kind of a giant boys club. It's not transparent at all. There's not a lot of technology for their end consumer. And we were like, look, what if we made a 3D project management tool, again, for that average consumer? What would we need to do? And it was surprising to us that nothing out there really existed like this. Our mission is to create. That's not what I want to do. Okay. So I showed all this stuff to Scott. Now, Scott said to me on a meeting, he goes, look, this is a great example of going from real to digital to real. And I don't think he actually quoted this right here. I'm just kind of throwing him a bone right now and kind of poking a finger at him. I don't know if we have the best real to digital to real experience that he's ever seen. But Scott's been instrumental in helping us with a few things, and I'm about to show you those. So we're the first to take that 2D image and extrude that into 3D. That could be a floor plan, a line drawing, a sketch. As a matter of fact, the sketch right there was the CTO of Overstock.com, because he was like, there's no way that this works. This is across platform. It's a platform, so it's across multiple devices. So iOS, Android, Windows. We're actually building up the Mac desktop version right now. It should be done in about a week. But having the first and being the first to be able to do this, we were like, well, what can we do with this? If the average person can create a digital twin of their office, of their home, of their space, and then they can edit the walls, windows, and doors, They can place in simple decor elements and simple decor items. They can see measurements from these items. And if every person could own their own version of their own digital twin, what are the applications to that? And then we started to just create and ideate and validate, and it got really fun. We are a product team as well. So well, let me jump back for a second. I made the mistake of showing this technology to my film buddies, and then they wanted their own version. And then I have some friends in the military, and then they wanted their own version. Uh, because I'm in the education world a little bit, they wanted their own version. So we created Boom Interactive as the main parent company, and we we're creating separate products for every one of these individual industries and giving them the tools and the ability to use our engine to create experiences, not only for themselves internally, but also for their customer base and their client base. And there's a lot of revenue opportunities that we didn't know about that have been brought to our attention that we can do. So jumping ahead. So we are the first to collaborate in 3D. Think Figma in 3D. And you're probably thinking, yeah, well, we do this with our teams right now. Well, the average consumer doesn't. The average person doesn't. A lot of stakeholders at the decision level, they don't know 3D. So the ability to bring 3D models into our engine and use these digital sticky notes, which contain a lot of information as well as chat, rich media, budgeting, a lot of other things, they can now communicate on while looking at a nerf, while looking at a lidar scan, whether it's a model they've created and they want to put in. Doesn't matter if it's a low fidelity model or a high fidelity model. People don't realize this, but your phone can handle 90 million tries in one scene. Now, you don't want to do that because your phone gets super hot, but it's a very powerful machine in your pocket. We're the first, got a little help from Dimex on this one, so I want to give a little shout out to them on this, but we're the first to edit in a LiDAR scan space. So in about 2 weeks, we're launching this, reverse engineered basically Apple's Swift code into C# so we can use this. But you'll be able to scan your space, instantly be able to edit it right away. Then we are creating a way to export that model that's been fully edited by you. Because, I mean, let's face it, sometimes scans aren't that accurate. We want those to be more accurate, right? So I think I'm running out of time here. Just want to do a time check with Scott. I have a lot more to show. But I also don't want to take up somebody else's time. So, Scott, can you shoot me how much time do I got left?
Yeah. So let me make sure it's timing it. Yeah. So we are technically a little bit over, but that's
Okay.
okay. If you want to go ahead and wrap over the next minute or so, we'll give
Yep.
you time to do that.
Yep. I'll wrap it up. Okay. I'll be quick. I have, again, so much to talk about. The first to do some POV. So imagine you scanning your space, editing it, sharing it with your designer, your decorator, your friend, and being able to walk through it right away. There's a lot of applications in the real estate world that we're talking to a lot of people about this. Co-op in 3D. So we're all gamers. We play Call of Duty. We play Halo. We built a co-op engine, server, and you can now design and decorate it cooperatively in real time across the world. Up to 50 people is our max right now. 3D advertising. There's a lot of chat about this. I'm talking to some major brands right now. They want to, put their products in our engine. Selections in 3D. I'll skip over this one. Shop in your space. This one's been really popular because it now takes a generic model and it ties it to thousands of products, and we're building another catalog engine and API that can bring those products in from multiple sources. That was the end of it. I again, so excited to play in this space. Thank you for the opportunity. Got so much more to show. Only scratched the surface, but thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Timber. And to everybody watching, feel free to connect with Timber, not only through this event, but also through our Discord. We'll be more than happy to get any questions forwarded his way. And again, we are going ahead and capturing what is posted in this session here, and we'll get back to you guys. Okay. All right. Stick close. We're going to jump right back into the next session. Thank you, Timber, for your time.
Thanks.